Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and giving double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. Okay, and what I want to speak about is there's a quote in the investment world, and the quote is, the penalty you pay for being early is waiting. The penalty you pay for being early is waiting. And what that means is, as an investor, you might invest some money into a stock or into a business. And the people usually who get a better return on their investment is the people who got in early. Okay, and I was just meditating and thinking about how our investment, which we invested in, which is the truth, it's similar to an investment in the world, because a lot of the times when people invest early into something, they really don't know. They don't know if the investment is going to hit. They don't know if they're going to get a return on their investment. All right. And you know, a lot of people, they just have faith. And a lot of us, you know, when we first come into this truth, we come into this truth not even fully knowing what we're a part of. And that's, in sort of a sense, jumping into something we really have, because that's just the nature of the beast, right? You really don't know what you're involved in until you get, you learn more. You figure, you know, so to speak, getting your feet up under you. So that zeal really brings you in the truth and carries you, and you start to learn more. And the Apostle Gabar really goes into the animals, basically the animals of four stages of wisdom, or what is it, 4 stages of wisdom, which is signified by animals. Okay, with the parrot, okay, and the monkey and the dragon, etc., etc. I may be wrong on a couple of them, forgive me, but Apostle Gabar likes to go into that. But we are about to cash out on our investment, okay? Because when the times of heaviness and trouble come, okay, the investment that you've invested into this truth. All right, you brothers out there, and some of you sisters as well, but starting with you brothers, you've forsaken. All right, and I'm gonna get that scripture, because forsaking certain things that you were doing in the world, a lot of those things you had to stop doing, and some you even had to neglect family, because the things that you were doing in the world, it interfered with the truth, and you had to let it go. It could have been something that you really loved, enjoyed doing. Okay, and some brothers have forsaken wives, because not forsaken wives, because of course, according to the law, you can't do that unless she being a demon, or she commit adultery, or or any for a lawful reason. But a lot of brothers, women, they left them. All right, and they sacrificed. Let me get the scriptures, because when you brothers, some of you got brothers that came in 10, 15, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years or 7, 10, et cetera, et cetera. You were, so to speak, you came in before a lot of brothers. And we still got brothers coming in. right? But the thing is being patient, right? And that's what I really wanted to harp on is the penalty you wait, the penalty you pay for being early is waiting. And when you wait for something, you have to be patient. Okay? Oh, Salakia. This is Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. And you got brothers that have been enduring. All right? Sisters, you too. You know, some sisters out there enduring. You know, the very few sisters out there. All right? But your investment, what you've invested in, even before you really knew what it was really about, you're about to cash out, brothers. The Lord is about to deliver the men who were patient, who were faithful, even when things looked spiritually grim, because it's a fight, right? When you watch a basketball game, you don't want to see a blowout. Nobody wants to see a blowout. That's boring. When you go see a boxing match, you want to see them fight. We all fighting. We all go through our day-to-day lives and the shit we got to deal with. But it's patience, right? The scripture saying, your patience possess ye your souls. Because the ability, I'm going to get the etymology for patience. Quality of being willing to bear adversities, calm endurance of misfortune, suffering, patience. One of the words goes into humility, submissiveness. Your ability to be able to be patient, your ability to be able to suffer whatever is brought upon you is going to get you delivered. Because some people give up. Some people can't suffer whatever they got in front of them. Some people can't stand to be hated. Whether it was their families, their children, or they didn't want to give up whatever it was. All right, whatever it was, the ability to be patient. All right, actually, it's something that the Lord has to give you. This is Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have thereof? Therefore, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you that ye which have followed me in the regeneration. So Peter's asking Yahushua, hey, look, man, I gave up everything. What am I gonna get? What are we gonna get for following you? I gave up everything. Peter, Yahushua told Peter that he had to wait. He told Peter, look, I ain't gonna pay you back now, but I'm gonna pay you back in the future. It says, verily I say unto you that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? He said, ye that which have followed me. Yahushua had plenty of people that followed him. So Peter got to wait to get paid. You know? Through generation after generation. It says, and every one that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. But it's in our patience. Okay? It's in the ability to be able to wait. And that's the price we have to pay for being early. Okay, because you're going to have brothers that come in at the very tail end. You're going to have believers come in at the end. And this is why the Lord spake of the parable in Matthew chapter 20. All right, the laborers and the penny, because regardless of if you're part of the elect and you come in at the last hour, we're all going to get the same penny. Some brothers, it was just written for them to endure longer. That's just how this story was written. James 5:7. I'm going to read this in the NLT. Dear brothers and sisters, be patient as you wait for the Lord's return. Okay, I just went into that word patient. Salakia. Okay, patient means to be of a long spirit, not to lose heart. But we see things popping like popcorn right now, which is a faith booster. We see things happening right now. It says to persevere patiently and bravely in enduring misfortunes and troubles, to be patient in bearing the offenses and injuries of others, to be mild and slow in avenging, to be long-suffering, slow to anger, slow to punish. Okay, and that's something that we could, I myself could work on, being even more of a long spirit. All right, being patient. Okay, dear brothers and sisters, be patient as you wait for the Lord's return. Consider the farmers who patiently wait for the rains in the fall and in the spring. They eagerly look for the valuable harvest to ripen. You too must be patient. Take courage, for the coming of the Lord is near. Okay, just like in a farmer, he has to wait for the rain. He has to wait for the fruits to grow, the vegetables to grow, the grain to grow. He has to wait for the process and how things manifest. All right, it has to play out, and that's what we got to wait. But nevertheless, we're seeing things happen. We're seeing things pop off. All right, but we still got to be patient because we got to wait for the prophecies. All right, and that's the price we got to pay for being early. All right, whenever you were called in this truth, all right, it's not the end yet, right? We're at the end, but it's not in yet, so we got to wait. All right, but nevertheless, if we endure, we hold on. All right, we're going to receive the promise. We're going to receive everlasting life. We're going to inherit the kingdom of heaven and be a part of the first resurrection, which is, oh man, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be a part of the first resurrection. Be a part of the setting up of the kingdom of heaven. Like, that's only going to happen one time. To be a part of that, that's special, man. All right, but we gotta remain faithful and patient. Okay, and that's the price we gotta pay for being early, and it is what it is. And Lord willing, the Lord put the Spirit on us to endure, to continue in the faith. Okay,